Hello everyone and welcome to episode 6 of FTB Revelation. How are you doing today? So this episode is going to be slightly weird. You can see the Gendustry devices in the background and I'm going to do a crazy experiment with bees. I'm going to work on our industrial area and for that we're going to need to generate a lot of RF. And I was going through the JEI and I found something interesting, which we're going to test right now. After Enderio has been updated, I really wanted to use the combustion generators. The problem is that the best fuel they can accept is refined fuel. The problem with refined fuel is that you need a lot of crude oil, and crude oil is not a sustainable source of fuel because you can't find it. Until I found this. You can get it from bees. There is an oily comb which comes from an oily princess which is from Beanie's Extra Bees. So I have prepared some devices and we are ready to test this thing. I made a little bit of refined fuel using the bitumen that I found in the mine shaft, so I melted it down, I turned it into naphtha and refined fuel. It was not a very difficult process, but I have three generators. I have the enhanced generator, the combustion generator and a compression dynamo. We're going to give them one bucket of refined fuel and then we will check how much power will they produce and at which rate. Okay, before I forget, it doesn't really matter which coolant you put in the combustion generators from Enderio. You can also put water and it will not change the efficiency. Only the compression dynamo has a special augment which changes the efficiency based on which coolant you put inside. Gelid cryotium is kind of expensive for me right now, so I'm leaning towards the combustion generators. A compression dynamo generated 1.7 million, a combustion generator made 1.8 million, and an enhanced combustion generator made 2.7 million. So the choice is easy, I guess. And it's not a bad rate because the enhanced combustion generator produces at 450 RF per tick. So we're going to do bees. I have to go and find some bees and I will be right back. Hi. So either Gendustry or Beanie's Extra Bees crashed my game. I gathered a lot of bees, I put them inside a strongbox from thermal expansion, and when I opened it at the base, the game crashed. I had to go to MC Edit, remove that chest, and now we're back in the game. Bees have different traits when you get them from the hives which you find in the wild, so I have a cheaty plan in mind. So the new plan is that I gathered some hives, and don't worry, I did not cheat the hives in. If you have an electronic scoop from Gendustry, you can pick them up and put them back down. If you shift right click, you pick them up, and if you left click like a normal scoop, you will just break them and get the bees. The problem is that I think when the bees spawn like this, they have different traits, and these traits crashes my game. So my plan is that I will trash all the hives and all the bees that I have found, and I will cheat them in from using the JEI. I think in that case they will not have random traits which will crash my game, and hopefully we can proceed with bee breeding. So I will get the exact amount of bee princesses and drones that I would have gotten anyway from those hives, and then we get to bee breeding. That's too much. Maybe 24, because I had 22 and it has a chance of giving you like 2 or 3 drones. I also need noble ones, I think. We'll check it anyway. Okay, I made a small mistake. It was not noble bees, it was supposed to be modest hives. So I have to throw these noble bees out because noble bee is actually a higher tier, so that was a mistake on my part. I mixed up modest with noble. You find modest hives in savannas. So I'll cheat some of those in and then we'll get to crafting. And I know this is cheating, but it's not my fault that the game crashes. It's not fair. So Gendustry makes forestry much more easier, because in forestry if you want to breed bees and mutate them, you get a random chance. If you have the advanced mutatron from Gendustry and you put 2 different types of bees inside, provide them with labware, you get to choose. So I have 2 hive bees which you find in the wild, and in return I want a common queen, which is the second tier. You need power, a labware and mutagen. Now we have our common queen. If it was forestry, you had to do this like 200 times and there was like a 5% chance of mutating. And you have a dandelion. Why didn't you recognize the flower? Isn't it dandelion for these? Oh, okay, that was just a glitch, it's fine. So this is going to be extremely slow, and I think I have an acceleration wand which I found in another fortress. It's not very useful because it uses your experience to accelerate stuff. I'll go and find it. Anyway, I will fast forward through all the tedious process and I will just show you the sequence that you have to mutate bees. Then we get to the oily princess and then we're done. Alright, I also forgot to mention some things, so let's mention them before I tell you the sequence. First of all, you need to breed the bees several times in order to get as much drones as possible. If you have time, get 64. If you don't, just do 10 or 15, because you're going to need a lot of different variants of bees in different levels. Then we are going to make Imperial Bee for the Royal Jelly, Industrial Bee, and the Oily Queen. So there are 3 sequences. 2 of them are similar because Industrial Bee and Imperial Bee are from forestry and they share the same tree. Okay, let's get started with the boring part. 2 hive bees, which we found already, will give you a common queen. If you mix a common queen with another hive bee, you get the cultivated queen. A cultivated princess plus a common drone will give you either a noble bee or a diligent bee. We're going to need noble for the imperial bee and the diligent bee for the industrious bee. A noble bee plus a cultivated bee will give you the majestic bee. And finally, a majestic bee plus a noble bee will give you the imperial bee, which makes the royal jelly for us. A diligent plus a cultivated will give you the unwary bee. Unwary plus diligent will give you the industrious bee. An industrious bee is the basis for any bee which is going to produce you any type of resource. So if you want to make gas tiers, you're going to need industrious bee anyway. We already have our imperial bee and the industrious bee, and the only bee remaining is the oily queen. Okay, I also made some automation upgrades. What they do is that they will automate the process of bee breeding, so you don't have to extract the drones, put them back inside. It will do it automatically for you, and we have one royal jelly. So we can make the production upgrades. With those, you can improve the production of each bee by like 4 times, which is very good. Okay, so now we have reached a territory which I'm not very familiar with. We're getting away from forestry and we're getting into Beanie's extra bees. So we need a sinister bee, and that's a combination of cultivated and modest. Oh yeah, okay, that was easy. Our sinister queen is kind of a jerk. She wants netherwort. That's new. So will you work now? No. Okay, it needs to be grown. You cannot grow netherwort with bone meal, huh? And you can grow it with an acceleration one. That is weird. You still have problems? Ah, okay. I'm not exactly sure what I did, but I removed the apiary, I put it back, and now she's working, and she's beating me all the time. A sinister plus a modest will give us a frugal bee. I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm just going to say frugal, and this one. And we need 2 of them. A frugal plus modest will give us the austere bee. I still don't know how to pronounce that, so we call it austere. This was the most lucky find of a villager that I ever had, because he sells the only bee that I cannot breed, and I either have to buy it from a villager or find it in a chest. The monastic bee. Monastic? I should just give up on pronouncing these things, but I believe that the bees that he wants in exchange are also available in his village. And yes, they are here. Good. Austere plus monastic will give us the secluded bee. I forgot to record how to make the ancient bee, but it's a combination of noble and diligent. So if you mix it with a secluded bee, you will get the primeval. And finally, a primeval plus a frugal will give us the oily queen, and this one will give us crude oil. Okay, so we have a small problem. I wanted to make the refined queen because that will give me the refined fuel. I already have the industrious bee and the oily queen, but I just realized that it makes the wrong kind of refined fuel. It's the refined fuel from Gadgetry and not Thermal Foundation. It has a high chance of giving me crude oil though, so I don't know what to do. Yeah, it's from Gadgetry. I don't know what to do. I really don't know. Well, the good idea is to cut the video and think. Maybe. See you shortly. Well, I did it anyway because it has a higher chance of giving me crude oil than petroleum. And just to prove me wrong on camera, he gave me like 4 petroleum and 1 crude oil. But we will avoid the petroleum and we will just keep the oil. The other issue is that I need 3 more bees. So see you in 3-4 days. Because that's going to take a very long time. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. This is more like a commercial break, but I just wanted to show you that our Botania area is still in one piece. The redstone managed to stop the TNT when the mana pools outside got full, which is exactly how I wanted it, and nothing has gone wrong, which makes me very happy. Alright guys, I know that you're tired of bee breeding, so I did the rest of it off camera, and I thought we should use the bees that we have bred to generate a little bit of RF here. This is our industrial area. There will be a platform with towers that we will do our manufacturing things, and there will be a basement. I also like this combination of brownstone. It gives it like a factory look, so I thought it should be nice. So I'll finish the platform, I will finish the basement, and I will bring you back. I got something very weird. Native copper ore. I thought you have to make them in the crucibles, so apparently if you use the pickaxe of the core, the refining one will drop these kind of items. Is there an upgrade? No. There is another one. Primal Crusher. No. I don't think I can make that. Good to know anyway. Alright guys, the platform is finished and now I just have to lit the basement up because I hear bats and I think we have a bat farm down there. So I just turn on my lantern of paranoia and we should be fine, I guess. Anyway, the idea behind the platform is that I'm imagining that we will have towers for, I don't know, processing ores, we will have towers for generating RF, we will have different contraptions on top which should make it look nice. I don't like just putting a device on the ground and say, okay, this is a redstone furnace. I like to have a, I don't know, a design for it or something. I'm not very good at building, but I like this part of the game and I hate bats. I should get rid of them and then I will bring you back. Also guys, FYI, this is a mess that the bees make. So they go pollinating everywhere, I don't know what the hell they do, but they plant dandelions or any type of flower everywhere. So my plan is I want to enclose them inside the room. I don't know if I can cover the roof or something, but I can use glasses. But there is an upgrade in Gendustry which says internal lighting, so I should check that out. Most of the structures that I want to make them out of steel from immersive engineering because the blocks, the sheet metal or the scaffolding and also the fence look very nice and very neat. The problem is that I didn't read good, so there are a gazillion recipes in order to make steel and I spent 2 or 3 days making 1200 coal coke, which I don't need. Reading is good for you. You can just use pulverized coal. That was a stupid decision. I think just a few minutes ago I was nagging that I don't like putting a device down and call it a redstone furnace. Look at this mess. I had a Stirling generator here, so I put everything around it. This is my organized mess. I needed to make some vibrant alloys from Enderio because we need to make the enhanced combustion generators and we need a lot of vibrant alloys. And unfortunately the ender pearls in this mod pack do not stack to 64, so putting them like 16 by 16 by 16 is a pain. So this is a better option, I guess. Okay, so I made two towers with 16 combustion generators. They're not that big and they're not technically a tower, but we will do some decorations later on. We first have to make it work. If they work at maximum capacity, they should give us like 7200 RF, and it's not that much, but you know, it's actually good for combustion generators, and also it's free power because the bees will produce the crude oil and we don't have to do anything for that. Good thing that I can convert them because they are actually super expensive and I can convert them back. So the decorations we will do later on. For now, this will do. The good thing about these Enderio fluid conduits is that they can carry different types of fluids at the same time. So imagine if I had to do this using thermal expansion, I needed to extract the power, I needed two different fluid ducts in order to put the water and the refined fuel in, and we have a little bit of lag, which I blame the bees for. So first things first, I had to remove the lifespan upgrade from the apiaries because you don't have to shorten the life of the bees. The production is not dependent on that. I made a light upgrade and I'm hoping if I put them in the basement, they should be fine. We just have to cover this one with a roof just as a test and see if it works. And I just dropped my wand. It doesn't work. Maybe it works with artificial light? No. Okay. So I need to put glass on top. I wanted to make the crystals from Draconic Evolution in order to wirelessly transfer power, and I realized I don't have any blaze rods. Luckily I had a moving wand and I had a blaze spawner in it, so we don't have to actually go to the nether. That is cool. I brought our apiaries down here and I couldn't get the lighting upgrade to work, so I'm just going to put a glass block on top. They don't need to be in the open field, they just need to have access to the sky, and I think a glass block should work the same. Right now it's nighttime and there's no flowers, there's no power, so nothing works. Anyway, I will hook them up to item conduits, and I think what I will do is that I will void the petroleum comb and I will just keep the crude oil, because the petroleum comb, I gave it a small test in a creative world and I realized that it doesn't work with the combustion generators and it only works with gadgetry stuff, and I couldn't get them to work anyway, so I think they just made a mistake while making the mod pack, so we will void them. I'm not sure if you guys knew this or not, but bees are jerks and they have a lot of requirements and I'm actually tired of them. So if you put the flower next to the apiary, it doesn't work, it has to be at least 1 block away, so I had to widen this place a little bit and now they work fine. So I'm guessing it's cool now, I hope. The Draconic Wireless Energy Crystal is a lifesaver because you can power up to 16 devices with just 1 block and you don't need to run cables everywhere, which would have made this place much more messy than what it is right now. I did not have enough Draconium to make the Wyvern version, but we only have like 8 devices here, so this should be enough for now. I also have a tank of refined fuel, like 30 buckets. That will give it a kickstart. Good. Okay, so fun fact of the day. We're not producing any refined fuel and I have no idea where the hell the power is going. It's not in the capacitor bank. These things have power. Huh. So where is it going? Oh, maybe here. Yeah, this has like 4 million buffer, the other crystal has 4 million buffers, so it has to fill these in first and then it goes to the capacitor bank. That is good, so what happened to the fuel? Huh. Everything has power. You're producing crude oil. Yes, you should configure the devices. Configuring is good, otherwise you will not get any fuel, and I forgot to configure them. And now we're getting refined fuel. It's not going up at a very fast rate, but it's going up. That is good. So the system works. The only problem is that I don't like the design. This looks horrible. Maybe I should work on it a little bit because this looks very incomplete. Okay, so I worked on it a little bit and now it looks much better. I'm happy with it. So we have some capacitor banks with a capacity of 150 million RF. I put a power monitor from Enderio to have graphical information, but unfortunately the graphical part is kind of glitched out, so it doesn't work. Anyway, I kind of like this. The steel that I used was pretty expensive, but I like the texture. The scaffolding, the sheet metals, the blocks. Everything looks okay. I'm happy. Alright guys, it's also time to wrap up the episode. I'm sorry that I had to spend a lot of time on bees, and I know it's very boring, but I just couldn't do it off camera and say, oh, this is how I'm making petroleum. I had to show it at least. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one. Bye bye.